Oh my god. What happened? What happened? This is so weird. Super Rugby AU, Western Force hosting the Reds at the Force Field in Perth ahead of the imminent lockdown. Okay? So the Reds threw the game, right? That's what happened. The Reds threw the game. They gave the win to the Force. Like, if you're Melbourne, you have to be spewing when you saw that, right? That was, I don't know, that was a little bit unsportsmanlike, I think. Because the Reds They threw the game. It was like 79th minute and 30 seconds. They were 30 seconds away. They were 5 meters out from scoring a 5 meters out, right in front of the goalpost, full on penalty. And the Reds opted for not take 3 points. Opted to go for a try, and Force stopped the try and won the game, basically. The Reds could have leveled the game and taken it into extra time. But they chose not to go to extra time. Maybe the Reds wanted to get out of Perth. I think the Reds wanted to get out of Perth before the imminent lockdown, which they have a charter flight out of Perth tonight, right? To get out of the imminent lockdown. But still, they didn't want to play the extra time. They wanted to get to the airport. I think that's a throw. I don't know. I mean, that could be, I don't know, a little bit unsportsmanlike, I think. Jokes aside, that's a little bit unsportsmanlike, I think. They should have taken the draw and then taken it to extra time. Instead of they threw the game, basically. James O'Connor was not the captain. So they swapped the captain to, who was it? Number 6. McRae, maybe? I don't know. Not McRae. I think the other guy. But anyway, they changed the captain today as well. So O'Connor wasn't the captain. He wasn't making decisions there. Very good for the Western Force. First time making it to the finals. Rebels, chokers. You decided to you made all these decisions in the last few weeks to take the easy option. You've taken the easy option all season. Now you're out. You're out. You are not going to make it to the finals. Unfortunately, Melbourne Rebels. And tomorrow's game against the Waratahs will be a dead game for you. Not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to the finals. Western Force, geez, they played really, really well in the last few weeks. They came back from like clutch victories a few weeks in a row now. They had a overtime win against the against the Rebels, and then I think they had another clutch win against the Tars. So yeah, very, very impressive for the Melbourne, for the Rebels, for the Western Force actually. The Rebels, you deserved it. You deserved it. You have all the talent in the world. I'll talk about you tomorrow, Melbourne. Western Force, unbelievable game actually. The referee was not very good, but let's take him out of the equation and have a look at the game actually. So right from the start, the first half, the Reds looked really, really good. Like from the get-go, the Reds looked in control, attacking, and Hunter Paisami got the ball and just ran through 2 defenders. Mioti come up to tackle him, push him, just literally stiff arm him off, and ran another 10 meters. People trying to grab onto him. He gets tackled on just before the try line. Momentum took him close. He reached out and scored a try, right? Absolutely just individual performance. Amazing performance, right? A few minutes later, Kieran Drani. Okay, so Kieran Paisami plays number 13 for the Western Force, and he's the current most likely person to play number 13 for the Wallabies. Like, this try just showed, like, he's so good. He's so small, and he just ran through, like, 3 people to score a try, right? So, Kurandrani was the Wallabies number 13 a few years ago. So, Kurandrani didn't even make the team, okay? And you can see it. He's out to make a point that, hey, Paisami, you want to take my spot? You better step up, right? So Paisami makes a tackle on Kurandrani makes a tackle on Paisami. He lifted him up horizontally and like dropped him on his head. Probably could have been a red card. And the referee, again, Damien Murphy, he did pretty well in previous weeks, but he's pretty subpar this week. He literally justified why this, like, as a referee, you don't justify something. You see what you look at what you see, and you just like say, okay, I see this and this. You know, lifted him over horizontal, dropped the play on his head, spear tackled him on his head. Dangerous play, should have been a red card. Damon Murphy, whatever his name is. He justified why it was not a red card. So when a referee does that, you know they're doing something wrong. So he looked at it, he said something, and like his justification didn't even make sense, right? His justification was something like, Paisami landed on his arm first, so he didn't actually hit it. He didn't actually impact his head initially, and then he got hit, speared onto his head, so it's only a yellow. Like, that makes no sense. Like, whatever he said made no sense. Paisami got speared, and he landed on his face. It's a red card. Murphy goes, oh, he landed on his head and then on his head. So then that's mitigate. Like, it makes no sense. So he only gave a yellow card. Kurandrani goes off for 10 minutes. And at this point, Western Force is looking pretty dangerous. They're 14 people on one player down. Reds is just turning on the pressure. And at midfield, there was like a Reds play. And there was a missed pass from Tate McDermott to O'Connor. And like, Milty was coming out to tackle O'Connor. And the ball like bounced off Milty's forearm and went past to, I think maybe Pattaya on the side. But as he was flying towards Pattaya, Oluwafela was there, intercepts the ball, and runs like 60 meters, scores a try. What is his name? Oluwafela. Oluwafela is apparently an England under-20 player, okay? If Eddie Jones is watching, this guy could be a potential player for England in the future. Like, he was very, very good to this today. There's just like multiple line breaks. Okay, so, and multiple tries. So he takes this, he intercepts the try, runs 60 meters, try for Western Force. Milty converts. Melbourne Force, I keep calling Melbourne Force for some reason, because Melbourne gets eliminated. I'm just too excited. I'm sorry. Western Force comes right back at the game, right? 7 points to 7. Literally a few minutes later, the Reds just like attacking again because the Force has one player down, so the Reds has a bit of advantage. Pushing. There was a ball to Tanela Tupou around 25 meters out from the try line. Like, he just got the ball and just ran straight. He ran through 3 tacklers, okay? The God of Thunder cracked through 3 tacklers, okay? And then 2 more people came out to tackle him. He shrugged those 2 people off. And then another 2 people right at the end tried to tackle him before he goes over the line. Was too late. Goes over. Try time. Unbelievable physicality from Tupou. Again, every week, just outstanding player. Like, he is... Like, he literally looked like he was playing against schoolboys. Like, he just ran through 5 people and then scored a try. It's just insane. Like, there was nothing on. The Reds weren't, like, the Force wasn't even in that much of a, was under a little bit of pressure, just outside their own 22. He just ran through 5 people and scored a try. What can you say? He's the God of Thunder, and he's a demigod for a reason. They call him the Tongan Thor for a reason. So he goes over. Reds convert 14 points to 7, and then the then there was the Western Force managed pretty well without conceding any more points. Kieran Johnny comes back on the field. Milty kicks a penalty at 33 minutes. Western Force caught up a little bit more. And then, before he kicked the penalty, the Reds scores another try. Okay, let's just go back a little bit more, okay? So, there was a bit of back and forward. And then, the Reds putting pressure back on the Western Force. Western Force finally got Kieran Johnny back on the field, back to 15. A few minutes later, repeated penalties. One of the Western Force player, yellow card for playing the ball on the ground under like lots of pressure. Yellow card. Off he goes. Second yellow card from the first half. Western Force down to another 14 players to play. All credit to Western Force. They were under a lot of pressure with 14 players, and it could have gone a lot worse for them. Reds were able to squeeze in another try. There was I think a line out, a maul, and the ball comes out the back, and it was just a beautiful inside pass from O'Connor to he draw it's just basically a 9-10 channel. O'Connor got the ball, inside pass to Dargunu. Dargunu just runs through that little gap between 9 and 10 channel. The Western Force 10 has a bit of defending issues. Miotti, his defense is actually a little bit shaky. It's a bit of a weak spot. A few times he got pushed off in tackling, and this one as well. A gap between 9-10 channel. Dargunu runs through. Now the third try for the Reds in the first half. 21 points up. 23 minutes in, and that was the last try the Reds scored. So yeah. Anyway, at this point, the Western Force, okay, really wanted to bounce back, okay, and Kieran Johnny, after coming back from a yellow card for making a dangerous tackle on Paisami, right? He gets back on the field, lines up Paisami again for the second time in the game. Paisami gets the ball, runs in, and Kieran Johnny just flattened him. It was so a huge hit. You could hear it. You could heard it on TV. It was just and Paisami couldn't get up. He was just down, right? And then he has to go off the field for HIA. Didn't come back. Kieran Johnny just took him out. I don't know. I don't know what to think, because Paisami is a big Wallaby prospect, and to just get laid out like that is a little bit concerning. I mean, I don't know. I was a little bit, I don't know. I think, I don't know. For me, I don't want to see Wallaby players get injured, or anyone get injured. But that was a big hit. Paisami goes off. He didn't come back. Fluke came back on. The replacement Fluke came on to replace him. So once that happened, the Western Force really started getting the ball rolling. And they really started putting pressure on the Reds. There was just it was a huge switch in momentum. Reds had everything going up to that point, and then it was just massive flipping momentum. Both probably because Paisami plays a huge role in the center, and Reds relies on him a lot to make as an attack option. Now that he's off the field, there's a missing connection in the Reds center field there. So the Reds attacking was just not clicking nearly as much. They're relying on a lot of forwards to try to create that attack. But yeah, so Western Force turns that around, building pressure. They had a full-on penalty. Western Force kicks a 3. Andrew Merton was should have gone for a try. And then the commentators yeah, but you got to catch up a little bit. So they're down there was 7 points to 23. Takes 3, takes him back to 10. And then Western Force kept the pressure on, which is what you wanted to do. You take a kick, put the pressure on. Andrew Merton was oh, should you take it out of 3? No, they're forced to the right decision. Kept the pressure on. 38 minute, Kaitu crashes over. After repeatedly putting pressure in the Reds 22, Kaitu crashed it over for the second try for the Western Force. And halftime, 21 points to 15. Milty missed the conversion, which is quite important. 21 points to 15. Game on. Second half starts. Okay, Western Force coming right out of the gate, and it's just like, again, you can tell Western Force is just like on the loose, trying to score. 6 minutes again, Oluwafela, the same guy who scored the intercept try in the first half, scores again for the Force. Like, there was some like beautiful play from the Force. There was a bit of a line break, bit of offloading. Try for the Force. Okay. Milty missed this conversion again. So they're still down by 1 point. 2 very critical conversions missed by Milty. So yeah, so the Western Force is still chasing. And then there was a lot of pressure applied for both sides. Jordan Patea gets yellow carded around this point. There was a high ball from the Reds. He went to chase and he got under the ball. The Force player was in the air. He kind of just like stood under, like he just ran under the Force player with his hands up like this, like, oh, I have nowhere to go. And the Force player basically got took out in the air. And then, yeah, yellow card for taking a player in the air. That was kind of bad for Patea. If he jumped, that wouldn't have been a penalty. But he didn't contest the ball. He just ran under the Western Force player. So the Force player landed on his head and fell down. Fell down on his face, like rolled over him. And that's just like stupid for Patea. Yellow card, he goes off the field for 10 minutes. And Reds just, in the second half, just didn't build any momentum. Really struggled to build momentum. And Western Force, all credit to them, really, really play well. A lot of like pressure on the Reds. I've forced a few turnovers, forced some penalties. The scrum from the Western Force actually the Red scrum was like the strongest part of the Reds weapon. And Western Force not only able to like neutralize it, I think they had like 2 scrum penalties as well. Like tied hair wins against the Reds, against Tupou. Like very, very good from the Western Force. Like they obviously worked very hard on their technique. And yeah, like showed 2 scrum penalties against the Reds. Like hasn't happened in this season, I don't think. The Reds usually dominate the scrums and wins penalty against their opponents. And the Force just like, nah, we're going to stop this. So very, very well done by the Force. For Western Force had one penalty in the 55 minutes. Milty converts that. Reds had 2 penalties in the second half, both converted by O'Connor. So now Reds are up by 6. Was it 6? No, up by 4, and the Western Force is up by down by 4. Okay, going into the last 10 minutes. And so the Reds were attacking. Okay, again putting Force under pressure. Repeatedly penalties. Reds start turning around, putting the Force under a lot of pressure again. 10 minutes last, about 65th minute, about 15 minutes to go. Western Force number 4, he played, I can't remember his name. He played really well this whole game, like instrumental in getting the Force to where they are. He got too eager, repeatedly penalty. The referees warned the Force, no more penalties. He got too eager, tackled he jumped over a rock to tackle the halfback. Yellow card. Western Force down to 14. 15 minutes left. Okay, so Western Force had to hold on to the Reds for 15 minutes with for the next 10 minutes with 1 play in the bin. Man, it was some reason the Reds did not score a try with the Force 1 person in the bin. Okay, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how the Western Force held up in the scrums, but they did. The Reds were like putting the squeeze on, try to get like they were getting scrum penalties because the Western Force had like 1 person missing, a lock missing. But still, how Western Force did not concede tries in this 10 minutes was like beyond me. This is where like right at this point when the Reds this is where Reds made a wrong decision. The Rebel did the same wrong decision last week as well. So Western Force just got a yellow card. 15 minutes left, and Reds are like ahead by at this point ahead by 1 point. They should have just gone for the try. Because if they put more pressure on, there could have been another yellow card against the Force, and Reds could have scored a try here. But they decided to take a 3-point. Huge pressure relief from the Western Force. Like, that was a really, really bad option. They should have got O'Connor back as the captain. Like, whoever made it, like, it was... Yeah, O'Connor wasn't the captain. This was 100% a bad decision. Should have gone for the try. Western Force is, like, just about to get knocked out here. 15 minutes left. They took the 3. So Western Force were able to escape with just 3 points after getting a yellow card right in front of the goalpost, 5 meters out, like 5-10 meters out, right in front of the goalpost. They could have considered a try if they put a pressure on. So, I don't know. That was really bad decision making from the Reds. Anyway, let's keep going. And then the 73 minutes, Western Force still one person down. Ulungwa Fella scores his 3rd try for the game, okay? Once again, just a brilliant individual try. There was a grubber kick, and O'Connor was running back to grab the ball. Olowofela was just a little bit... I think his first name is Jordan or James. Anyway, he was just a little bit faster, got there, basically just like claimed the ball as O'Connor was trying to get it at the same time. Shrugged off O'Connor, sprints in for the try. 3 tries in one game against the Reds. Very impressive. Eddie Jones probably will be watching this kid. This kid was England under 20s in the under 20s team. Very young player, extremely athletic, extremely fast. These are not just like he scored 3 tries, but throughout the game he's made like very threatening runs, and it looked very, very good this whole game. So he scores the 3rd try for the Force, and then Milty Western Force gets ahead by 1. Milty converts this one. Finally, Western Force 30 points to 27 with 5 minutes to go, okay? Now, Reds started attacking. Western Force still has a yellow card, by the way, at this point. So, Reds were putting Force under pressure. Full-on penalty against the Force, okay? Full-on penalty against the Force. And then Force... I can't remember exactly what happened, but Force gets himself out of trouble, right? So they get the ball back, and then the Force was going to do like a box kick to relieve the pressure. The box kick, so you're like, okay, Force like saved it, okay? They did really well to turn the ball over, and they saved it. He does the box kick, Uru charges the ball down, and everyone's just like, oh no, that's terrible. And he was just running for the ball with just him and the fullback chasing the ball. And the Western Force fullback gets there before Uru. He picks the ball up. Uru gets right on him, seals the ball off, tackles him, seals the ball off. Referee comes over, no releasing, full-on penalty. So at this point, 4 minutes to go, full-on penalty, and the ball is 5 meters out on the line, right under the post. Okay? Reds could kick 3. But, okay, this is understandable at this point. The West Force still had 1 person in the bin. So the Reds wants to go for and there's 4 minutes left. Reds wants to go for a try. So, especially when there's 1 person missing, right? So this part makes sense. Not the first part where they had a chance. This part, so they went for a try. 4 minutes left, went for a try. Scrum comes in. And then, for some reason, again, Reds dominated scrum. Full-on penalty again. Western Force just like scrambling for the defense. Eventually seal the ball off. And then it's like, okay, we'll go back for the full-on penalty again. This is 2 minutes later. And then now Reds has another full-on penalty. They just had a scrum penalty because Force had 1 person missing, right? Now, there's 2 minutes left. And Western Force, it's now, yellow cards just expired. So their extra person advantage for the Reds was not there anymore. 2 minutes left. Full-on penalty, right in front of the goalpost. Unlike the scrum you just did a couple minutes ago, there is no, the Western Force is back into 15 players. You don't have a scrum advantage anymore. So the Reds goes, okay, we'll do another scrum. Okay, so the Reds goes for another scrum. This time, there's no advantage, basically. Reds gets the ball out, and they try to play, and then eventually they ran into the Western Force. The clock is up, 80 minutes. They ran into the Western Force into Western Force. They got like basically the tackler held him up, and then the Force player just swarmed into that tackle. They held up the Reds player, and then the referee comes over. Yep, that's a more took him by the Reds, going forward by Western Force. Turnover, Western Force, scrum. That I think the Reds should have taken the penalty goal for the second when the Force were back into 15 players for the second scrum, especially when there was like 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes left, and they decided to go for a try and then got held up. Turnover for the Western Force. Final scrum packed down. Western Force secure the ball. The scrum looked like a bit shaky. He like collapsed, but the referee just like let it go. Force gets the ball out. Milty kicked the ball out. History has been made. Western Force going into the Super Rugby semi-finals next week against the Brumbies. And the Melbourne Chokers are out. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was a little bit Reds had I felt like that was maybe a little bit unethical by the Reds. Maybe a little bit unethical. Because they should have taken the draw. Like, they were running out of time, right in front. No scrum advantage. And they decided to go for another scrum. Not even a line out. Could have gone for more. Went for another scrum. No scrum advantage there. When their players back on the field. And they should have gone for the 3-point. For the draw and going for the super time. Overtime, aka. I do feel like that was the captaincy should go back to James O'Connor. That was really poorly managed this whole game. The 3 points that decided 10 minutes earlier, like 15 minutes earlier, should have been a try there. And then the last 2 minutes when things really aren't going to look like you're gonna score, should have taken the 3 and gone to extra time. Yeah, I'm not really happy about that Reds, like the ending there. I'm happy for the Force for sure, but I feel like there could have been a bit of a ethical dilemma there for the Reds. The decision making there was very, very questionable, and you can probably blame it on the back captaincy, but I do feel like there was more than just the captaincy. There was more like, we just want Western Force to go through. Let's just throw the dice. If we score the try, we score the try. If we don't score the try, congrats, Western Force. We're just going to throw the game. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. I was a little bit, I was very happy. I'm very happy for the Force. And I think if Reds took it to extra time and Force beat the Reds, would have been even better. And I think the Force probably could have done it because they had the momentum. They played really, really well. And they've been closing out games in the last minute very, very well in the last few weeks. So just grit and determination got them through. Making the tough decisions, taking on the challenges head on, bit of All Black spirit, and got them through. Yeah. Congratulations to the Western Force. And I don't know. Bit unethical for the Reds, I think. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Crusader game. Thank you.